because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted.
All right. So we see Hamashiach, whom the world called Christ, went into the synagogue. The synagogue was a public assembly where our forefathers would gather themselves together for a corporate fellowship in the Torah and for prayer and for fellowship. So they always did it in a public assembly, okay? With the exception of circumstances, okay? So a synagogue was like a public assembly where our forefathers gathered together. And as long as I have started this first organized Hebrew Israelite of Hamashiach congregation, we have never had to have it in my house.
Right.
Never had to have it in my garage, because the Most High has always provided a place for us to have it in a public assembly, okay? And Hamashiach is our great example, okay? And the Torah commands us, I think in Deuteronomy the 18th chapter, says that the Most High shall raise unto you a prophet like unto me. Him you shall what? Hear. That means whatever he commands us to do is Torah. Whatever he commands us to do is Torah. So, like that saying, that cliche they used to have, what would WWJD or WWYD, what would Yah do? You understand? Well, what would he do on the Shabbat? Well, he would go and congregate in a public assembly, and this is exactly what we are doing. So somebody say, hallelujah!
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 Give Almighty Yah hand clap praise. At this particular time, we're going to get these brothers to do what they do.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
First, we want to give thanks to y'all for allowing us to be here, allowing us to come up with this Hebrew rap for our fellow brethren around our age, to reach out to them and get them into the truth. So, he's the Alpha and the Omega. I'm the servant and he the maker. Made from dirt and it is amazing. Read some scriptures and open your eyes. He realize everything is a lie. Not to your face, they steady deceiving. Time to take a break from all these heathens. Thank the witness who witnessed to me. Woke up a lion who wasn't holding back none of the heat. Woke up the fire who screamed true to the strong and the weak. The Most High is higher than anything you could dream in your sleep. So why you keep sinning like he can't see? Keep sinning like he ain't real. Your sinning is on repeat. Your sinning gon' get you killed. The punishment is coming and I'm praying for you all the way till brighter days. No holiday, just saying faith is calling me. Listen, the truth is what I'm spitting. The truth is what I'm hitting. Home runs is what I'm getting. Bible knowledge, not the college, y'all the loudest. Can't be silenced, I praise the highest and to not be violent. Spreading love now the Torah got me, now keep his commandments. Read the scriptures like a bandage, let it stick to your soul. That way when everybody see you, they already know. Y'all is in you, so believe you when you witness some more. Tribe of Judah, hallelujah, trying to sharpen your sword. Your knowledge is your power, so what it's gonna be? A gun in your hand or a scripture to read. I'm saying, what's your plan when Yahweh speaks? Judging your sins, you your sins all of your life, believe me. This really is a new chapter. Stop the curses the past generations had put out there. Stop the stealing and killing our own man like these rappers. Stop all this petty hate. Stop all premeditating. Stop putting on this body on the spreading hate to people. Some to think you really want us just as you the reason we keep pushing. Trying to help you tremendously, cause y'all's above me. I'm trying to give you holy energy, survival's coming. I know you ready for change. I know you desperate in hope. I know you tired of pain, and yeah, I get it. Yeah, I really get it. But praying and reading scriptures is how we beat that spirit. I pray for you. Let the Most High take control of the wheel. It's all in his will. Oh, it's true that you know it's real. We're giving you something to feel. We want to let you know what's up with the deal. Most High, Adonai, our Father, grown up and they taught us in the land that brought us. They call us pain, you're not gonna bruise. Get the new life and drop around on cruise. But the most high tell you something, you gotta bruise. This ain't no joke, and I'm killing you. I'm teaching you something new. Now when you school, Satan using the whole world to prostitute. I break the sea with like Justin and call it cool food. But you got the knowledge, what you gonna do? Like Cleese Johnson and Chelsea doing this stuff to you.
All right, Sister Cole.
Sister Coles is going to.
No, you got one more?
Yeah.
All right, one more.
Sister Coles is going to accompany me on this.
And this song is Shema, which generally means listen. Shema Israel, listen, Israel. And the way it goes is this. I'm just going to go through it one time, and then we'll go through it together.
Y'all come over some.
Yeah. So here's what I need. I don't need this mic. Here's what I need. I need everyone to give me this clap. All right? Now where it goes like this. Shema Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah Ehad. Shema Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah Ehad. Keep it going. Now this next part is what we call a call to response. When I get ready to ask you for the call to response, I'm going to put my hand over my head. The way that goes is this here. When I say Shema, you go Israel. When I say Shema, you go Israel. The third time when I say Shema, you say Israel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay? Shema Israel. 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 Y'all know it now, so let's sing it. Israel. Shema
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, we're gonna get y'all to do that next Shabbat. Most High willing. We're gonna definitely get you to do that next Shabbat. I like that. The psalmist says that he inhabits the praises of who?
His people.
His people. And who are his people?
Israel.
That's right. So the Most High is up in here.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
It's getting hot in here. I'm not going to say what else goes along with that, but I'm going to say it's getting hot up in here. So lift up your praise. You know what I'm saying?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Because he's a consuming what?
Fire.
Jeremiah said his word was unto him like fire in his what?
Shut up in his bones.
Bone.
My bones.
So hey, I love that song already. I already put my request in, but I want y'all to do that next Shabbat. Let's get these brothers as well who gave a rap performance a hand as well.
Hallelujah.
Give yourselves a hand for being here as well. And let's give our unseen guests a hand as well. All right, I am Apostle Malachi P L Reynolds. I am the founder, acting pastor of the Lost Found Israelites Ministry of the Ambassadors, aka Apostles Faith. I want to personally thank you for taking time out of your reverence for the Most High to come and fellowship with us in this local body of the Most High Yah Elohim corporately, so that we can pray together, praise together as we just did, pray together as we did when we opened up, and so that we can also worship together. That's what the Most High is looking for.
Hallelujah.
Worshipers. That's what Hamashiach, whom the world called Christ, told the woman at the well. For the Most High is seeking some worshipers who will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. So like I said, previous Shabbat, it's not always about coming to learn some new knowledge. Shabbat, first and foremost of all, is all about fellowship. Hey, y'all get out there, okay? Come over here. It's all about fellowship. Corporate prayer, corporate praise, and corporate worship. Okay? That's what it's all about, okay? This is part 4. I'm going to continue the series. We're talking about the dysfunction of all the families of the patriarchs of the Bible. Okay? And what we're doing in this series is we're going from the dysfunction of the patriarch family, starting from Adam, Noah, Abraham, and so forth, into the perfect family of Hamashiach. So this is part 4 of the series titled From the Dysfunctional Family of the Patriarchs to the Perfect Family in Hamashiach, or whom the world called Christ. We're going to kick it out from Genesis the 25th chapter. Genesis the 25th chapter. Now, somebody give me a definition of the word dysfunction. A dysfunctional family.
Out of order.
Out of order. Confusion.
Confusion, chaos.
Chaos. But I love the definition, conflict between the same members of the same family. Conflict between the same members of the family. And on July the 26th, I'm going to be speaking at the Doc Bookstore about domestic violence and solutions. And that's going to be July the 26th. I'm going to be doing a lecture on domestic violence, July 26th, and solutions. And I'm inviting all victims of domestic violence to come and contribute to the solutions, not to a victim mentality. Because that's what the world is pushing. Once you've been victimized, you're always a victim.
Yeah.
Well, I see different when it comes to the healing power of the scriptures. You don't always have to be a victim. You can go from being a victim to being a what? Victor. That's right. So let's start this part 4 of this very important series. I want the Lost Found Israelites ministry to be about promoting family values. Torah promotes family values and structure. Yeah, okay? I don't want this ministry to be about us coming together always just talking about bashing the so-called white man. You understand? I don't want us to be known for that. You understand? We know that some Gentile nations will be destroyed. You understand? And vengeance is to the Most High. Okay?
Hallelujah.
And we will correct error. A lot of our people in the Sunday theology, they are woefully misinformed. You understand? And it is our mission to correct them in love. Paul says, speak truth in what? In love. But I don't want it to be all about just bashing the Sunday church either, okay? We want to correct our brothers and sisters who are woefully misinformed. You understand? In love. Hallelujah. Okay? Because by loving kindness have I drawn thee. You understand? So let's kick it off from Genesis 25th chapter, the 19th to the 34th. Now the first series was about the dysfunction in the family of Adam and his wife and his 2 sons, Cain and Abel. And then we went from there to the dysfunction in the family of Noah. And then we went from there to the dysfunction of the family of Abraham. And now we have the dysfunction in the family of Isaac and his wife Rebekah and their 2 sons that are to come, Jacob and Esau. Genesis 25th chapter, the 19th through the 34th verse. Read.
Everybody there say Cain? Genesis 25 and 19. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister of Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his, entreated the Most High for his wife, because she was barren, and the Most High was entreated of him. And Rebekah his wife conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Most High. And Yahuwah said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
So we see Isaac, he entreated the Most High on the behalf of his what? Wife, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I think we can perceive rightly that his wife was what, barren?
Yes.
Now we're seeing like a pattern right here, right? What we're seeing, I mean, because Sarah was what? Barren.
Yes.
And in Romans, the 8th chapter, Paul in his writing says, for the Most High called those things that be not as if they what?
Were.
You understand? I just want to bring it out. Read on, brother. Oh, okay, well, hold up. So he entreated his wife. He entreated the Most High Yah Elohim. And the Most High blessed her to conceive. And she was troubled in her womb. She was troubled in her womb. Read that verse again, brother.
23.
Yes.
And the Most High said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations are in thy womb.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
He didn't call them in that passage, in that context. He didn't call them brothers, did he?
No.
He called them
2 manner of nations.
two nations. Don't think just because you live in the United States of America that you are one nation. The United States of America is a political system of many different ethnicities, ethnos,
Right.
nations. So just because you are living in America, that doesn't make you like one nation. The United States consists of multiple nations. You understand? And as some historians have said, that the so-called black man and the so-called black woman of America, that we are a nation within a what? Our forefathers in captivity to the Egyptians was a nation within a nation. You understand? So no matter how much we try to integrate, you understand, the Most High can always see us as a nation separate from the other nations.
Right.
You understand? Because that's what we was predestined to be. We are the apple of his eye, even in captivity. We are still the, because remember, he didn't send us into captivity. Paul said, and this is where a lot of our Sunday churches are woefully misinformed. Paul said, has the Most High cast away his people? Yah forbids. Right? And if they would read the scriptures and really study and rightly divide the word of truth, the Most High didn't cast us into captivity to destroy us, but to correct us. And so that we may know the difference between living under Torah or living under, like we're living under right now, a pagan system that teaches you to eat pork. You understand? That teaches you that a man and man is legal for them to be married. You understand? You know? To teach us the difference between holy and what's profane. Living under a theocracy by Torah. You understand? Or a pagan system that teaches you to worship Christmas and Massacre Day and all those other holidays. You understand? When we should be keeping the high Sabbath days along with the weekly Sabbath days. You understand? So the Most High said there are two nations within your womb. And they was what? What was they doing in that womb?
They were fighting.
Fighting and struggling. And listen, y'all, that's very prophetic right there. There's some revelation knowledge in that right there. Because the United States consists of more than just one nation. There's two nations that has been struggling in this political system since Plymouth Rock. Since we, you understand? You know? I mean, let's just make it plain. The so-called black man and the so-called white man, you understand? We have not been getting along, you know, you understand? Since we have been brought over here. Let's just go off the facts, right?
Yes, sir.
You know, I mean, just giving people jobs, that's not solving the issue. Passing a few civil rights bills, that's not solving the issue. Having a so-called black president, that's not solving the issue. Right? Let's just go off the facts.
Apostle, it's been going on since the time of our existence.
Since the time of our existence. Remember in the story of Abraham and the promised seed Isaac and the seed that was conceived from the flesh, Ishmael. You know, so it's been going on back then. Even far back into the family of the dysfunction in the family of Adam with Cain and Abel. You understand? So you're right on that, elder. This thing has been going on since the beginning of time. And this is a generational dysfunction that has come down to 2019. This is why it's so important that we focus on what we are doing in the presence, because it can affect you in generations to come. I like how this verse starts off, well, where I told him to pick it up at the 19th verse, and this is the generation of Isaac. So she had two twins, and they were struggling within themselves. You understand? Just like the United States is like a womb. You understand? With two nations struggling. You understand? We struggling to be treated right. You understand? And they struggling not to treat us right. You understand? You know, we beg, we protest the same oppressive system. You understand? We beg it and protest for the same oppressive system to treat us right. You understand? You know, a system that wasn't, it's still in the Constitution that we are still labeled as what?
3/5 of man.
3/5 of man. That's still in the Constitution. Why haven't they got that out of there? That's interesting. Read on, brother.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. And after that came out his brother. And his hand took hold of Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. And the boys grew. And Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau, because he did not eat of his venison, because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob saw a pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore his name was called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
It says Esau despised his birthright. Now, a lot of people look at this text and say, well, you see what Jacob did? Why would you want to be a descendant of Jacob? He was a trickster. You understand? But we need to go back to the previous verses that Brother Nehemiah read, where Jacob was already chosen by the Most High. Before he even, offered this, made this offer to his brother. He was already chosen in the womb. Remember the Most High told Jeremiah? He said what? I knew you before I formed you, and I ordained you. This is why, Brother Esau, I like what he been posted on Facebook, you understand? This is why abortion is murder. Life begins in the womb.
Hallelujah.
And the brother has been, posting, you understand, some very important things about it, you understand, but life begins in the womb. You understand? Well, just like Jeremiah was chosen in the womb and ordained, well, he told Rebekah, you have two nations within your womb. And I have chosen that the elder shall serve the younger. Now tradition says what? That the elder gets the first of the inheritance. You understand? But the Most High, before Jacob had, offered him something to give up to tempt him to give up his birthright, before you call Jacob a trickster and all that, just consider what the Most High had already prophesied while Rebekah was impregnated with those two twins. You understand? And the scripture says that, and Esau despised his birthright. In this particular passage, it didn't say he despised his brother. It said he despised his what? Birthright. You understand? And you know what? What the text may not really be making plain, it may be in another translation, is that Esau thought lightly of his birthright. He thought lightly of it. And that should let us know that we shouldn't think lightly of anything that comes from the Most High. In other words, I think it's written somewhere in the Torah that we shouldn't treat the things of the Most High as common. Right?
Right. That word means worthless.
Are worthless. That's a good definition. As worthless. In other words, like we treat pennies. Let's go to Genesis, the 26th chapter, the next chapter over. Read from the 34th through the 35th verse.
Verse 34. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Bashimon, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief of mine unto Isaac and to Rebekah.
So Isaac and Rebekah, Esau the oldest, his mother and father was grieved by his marriage to the daughters of the Canaanites. But that's what they were, right? They was dwelling in the land of Canaan, okay? Remember, Isaac, Abraham's son, Abraham sent his servant to the land of where they came from to get him a wife, right? Now we see right here, Esau went and got him a woman from among the Canaanites, the Hittites. But this thing grieved the mind of Isaac and Rebekah. Now let's go to Genesis 27 chapter. Read the first, start from the top.
Genesis 27:1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he...
Hold up. Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead and read.
And he said, Behold now, I am old, and I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me a savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before Yahuwah before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock and fetch me from this 2 good kids of goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I will seem to him as a deceiver. And I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them.
So we see that Jacob was a mama's boy, and Esau was the father's boy. Esau favored Isaac, or Isaac favored Esau. But mother Rebekah favored Jacob. We see Esau was a hairy man. We see Jacob was a smooth man. Go ahead, brother Esau.
What most people don't realize that Esau killed Nimrod, which was the first false god worship, the sun god worship come from. Esau killed Nimrod and 2 of his servants, and then that's why he was exhausted when he ran to Jacob and he ate the food. So, but he didn't even repent or say, Father, because thou shalt not kill. But if you read Jasher 27 chapter, starting from the whole verse, 27:4, it says, And on a certain day Esau went to the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his 2 men. And all his mighty men and people were with him in the wilderness, but they removed at a distance. And it goes on to tell you that Esau was jealous of Nimrod, and he wanted, because Nimrod was a mighty hunter before the Yahuwah. And so also, so that jealousy and that envy, and that's what it's out, because he hated his brother. And so we commit spiritual adultery. And so fornication is not for the body, because we're one with the Most High.
Praise Yah.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, brother. So we see that, now once again, let us understand the text. We know that just in the previous verses that the brother was reading, that that Jacob offered to Esau when he was coming from the field something to eat, right? For his birthright, okay? Now, if he already had the birthright, why would his mother set him up to go get the blessing for the birthright? Y'all see this? Y'all see this? So someone may say, well, see, that Bible is tainted. Why would you want to be a descendant of Jacob and Isaac and Rebekah? Because Rebekah, she tricked her own husband through her young son. Y'all see that? But once again, we got to go back to Genesis, the 25th chapter, the 19th through the 34th verse. Before they even conceived of this trickery, Jacob was already chosen in the womb.
That's right.
Before. See, this thing go deep. Matter of fact, go to Malachi 1 and 5. Malachi 1 and 5. And then we're going to go to Ephesians, the first chapter. Let's go to Malachi, first chapter. Read the 1st through the 5th verse. Malachi, the first chapter, the 1st through the 5th verse. Read.
Everybody there say Cain?
Cain.
Malachi 1 and 1 reads, the burden of the word of Yahuwah to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith Yahuwah. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith Yahuwah? Yet I loved Jacob. And I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we shall return and build the desolate places. Thus said Yahuwah of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the borders of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahuwah hath indignation forever. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, Yahuwah will be magnified from the border of Israel.
Hallelujah.
Now, Israel was asking the question, how have you loved us?
Right.
Abiyah, Heavenly Father. The Most High said, was not Esau your brother? Esau have I hated, but Jacob have I loved it. In other words, the Most High was saying, because I know how some brothers use this, some camps use this verse. Esau have I rejected, but Jacob have I chosen. You understand? Go ahead, brother.
The definition, when I looked it up, love less. Instead of hate, hate is one translation, but you can put love less. Esau I've loved less, but Jacob I've loved.
Right.
Because of his deeds.
That's a good one. Let's get that brother a hand right there. That's a good one.
Hallelujah.
Because I know there's something wrong with the way them camps be, some of them camps are using, you understand? you know. But so he said, telling Israel, look, Jacob have I loved it. That's how I have loved it you. You understand? Now let's quickly get Proverbs 17 and 17. Proverbs 17 and 17. Then we're going to go back to Genesis. And all of this is causing what? Dysfunction between members of the same what? Family. We're talking about the dysfunction in all the families of the patriarchs of Yasha'Allah, or of Israel. You understand? And we're talking about going from the dysfunction in the patriarchs and the families of the Bible to the perfect family in Hamashiach, Christ. Proverbs 17 and 17. Okay.
Proverbs 17 and 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity.
So we see this conflict, this dysfunction. You know, they got the Cain and Abe syndrome. Those were the first two brothers that got into it, right? You understand? So that dysfunction has worked its way on down to the dysfunction into a rivalry between Jacob and Esau. You understand? Now listen, Jacob, he wanted this birthright, where Esau despised his birthright. That's some revelation knowledge right there.
Yes.
Some of our people are willing to give up whatever to get this truth. And some people just, well, if I do it, do it, but don't, don't. You got the right price, it's yours. That was the attitude of Esau.
Yes.
The right opportunity come along and I need something else other than this birthright, here is yours.
Right.
Yes.
You mean to tell me you're a great hunter? And you can't go get out there and a hunter knows the terrains, the terrain. He knows the terrain. Wasn't no berries out there, no fruit trees, you know, to quench your hunger. You know, see, along with your birthright, you got to be willing to suffer for your birthright. You understand? Not be so easily tempted to forfeit it. You understand? But nevertheless, the counsel of the prophecy of the Most High standeth for sure. You understand? It was already preordained, but I just wanted to bring out to you about, before you go accusing Jacob of being a trickster, you understand? Jacob wanted that birthright. Jacob valued that birthright. He understood the value of the birthright. Oh, this is some revelation knowledge. See, our people, they don't understand the value of knowing who you are. I can hit a home run right here with this one. You don't care about the value of knowing who you are and whose you are.
Hallelujah.
Because if you knew the value of who you are and whose you are, then you will know why you were in this condition in 2019.
Right.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Then if you know who you are and whose you are, you understand, then you will know what you should be doing. In other words, then you will know your purpose.
That's right.
A lot of our people are just wandering from here and there. They just have a job just to spend money to fulfill their lust because they don't know who they is.
Right.
And that's why we are the biggest consumers, the biggest fools in America. You understand? We just spend, and don't produce nothing. Because we're trying to define ourselves by trinkets, by material possessions.
Yes.
Like an NFL football player or basketball player. You understand, man? This is me, man. This is me, man. I'm a basketball player, man. This is me right here. This is me right here. This is me. This is me. This is me. No, that's not you, brother. That's what you do.
Right.
You're more than just throwing that pigskin up and down the field. Catching that pigskin up and down the field. That's what football made of. You understand? You're more than that. You're more than a sports athlete, brother. You're more than that. That's what you do. That's not who you are. That's not who you is. And some of our people, when you challenge them, you understand, like, who are you, brother? They consider it so laborious to think. I'm good. I'm good.
They don't care like you.
Well, what's been good? You're right. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care about knowing their birthright. You understand? But listen, Jacob cared. Jacob wanted that birthright. You understand? Jacob had a hunger. Yahawashi said, blessed are those who hunger for righteousness, for they shall be filled. You understand? So let's get back to what it was, which was in Genesis 26, 34? No, 27. chapter. Pick up where you left off at. Somewhere between the first and 46th verse. 14 verse. Pick it up right there.
14. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as the father loved.
Even his mother recognized the value of the birthright.
Yeah.
Now some may say, well, wait a minute. She's supposed to love both of her children equally. Well, it doesn't say that she didn't love them both equally. It's just like this example. If I'm a father with 2 sons and I have 2 sons, you understand? And if one is more, and I'm wealthy, and I am wealthy by faith.
All right.
And I had $10 million assets, which is more important than the money. That's what our people need to learn. You understand?
Yes.
Assets, land, and etc. And if one son if the younger son of mine is proving himself to be more financially manageable with assets and the money, although I initially said I would give it to the oldest, which son do you think I'm gonna leave it to?
The one that's more responsible.
That's right. I repent. I'm a change of mind. The word repent simply means I have a change of mind. You understand? So I would change my mind. Instead of leaving it with the eldest, I would give it to the youngest. It's not because I don't love the oldest. It's because the youngest has showed himself to be worthy and more, you understand, manageable. He's showing those potentials than the one who I initially wanted to get it. It's not that I don't love him. You understand? You want to say something else?
Yes, sir. We also see another human flaw here.
Yes, sir.
You know, you'll see even real throughout the scriptures that every time Yahuwah says that he's going to do something, we find ourselves trying to help make that thing be what it's going to be.
Ooh,
So
that's a
when
good
you
point.
look at what's going on here, although Rebekah was told that the birthright was going to be given to Jacob, she didn't have to do anything because Yahuwah was going to make sure that his word go out and it return not void. Okay? But she thought in her own mind, because of her humanity, that she had to do something to help bring this thing about because her husband was going to give the birthright to the elder.
She got that Eve syndrome.
Yes.
Because remember, thank you, Esau, for this water.
Shalom, brother.
Remember her mother-in-law, Sarah.
Yes.
It may be. It may be. And you're right. I didn't see this point. I'm glad you brought that out, Elder. Give him a hand for that.
Hallelujah.
Because she did know. Because she had treated the Most High. If it is so, then why am I troubled? And the Most High said, 2 nations is in your womb, and the elder shall serve the younger. In other words, the younger shall get the birthright and not the elder. So, why would she need to have done what she was going to do? You understand?
Right.
Because the prophecy was going to come to pass.
Right.
That's a good point. I didn't even see that when I was studying that. Give another hand for that, y'all. Earn, shopping, earn. You understand?
Hallelujah.
And that's the same thing that Sarah tried to do. And look, we shouldn't badmouth Sarah. Because Sarah had good intentions.
Yes.
That's why she said it may be that the Most High is going to bless us with another. I don't, you know, it may be, so take my maid. You understand? You know, her intentions was good.
Same with Rebekah.
Yes. You know, And it wasn't nothing wrong with Jacob desiring the birthright. It wasn't nothing wrong with that. We all should desire the birthright of the Most High. So that was beautiful. You understand? So before we go to accusing, you understand, we need to read it all in context and get a proper understanding. But nevertheless, she said, well, look, I love both of them, but I see that my son is more interested, my youngest, Jacob is more interested in the birthright than Esau is. Because she probably saw what the scripture saw, that Esau what? Despised his birthright.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And she said, and Esau had already displeased her and the father, right? By doing what? What grieved Isaac and Rebekah?
When he married that other nation.
What'd you say, sister?
When he married the other nation.
That's right.
He did that out of spite. He did that out of spite.
I did do that.
You know, and that shows you something about that demeanor of Esau. And just like in Genesis, where he told Cain, sin is crouching at your door. Its desire is for you, but you must master it. You must rule over it. So it's a war in our members. And so, and like you say, in any family, if I tell you to wash the dishes, take out the trash, if I tell both my sons to do this, and I see the one that's being obedient, of course I'm gonna love him more.
Exactly. That's a good point.
Hallelujah.
He did it out of spite. You know, just like some children, just like even some of us, even on our jobs, you know what I'm saying? You know, you don't want to do it, you know, you go do something out of spite. You understand? That's why the Most High say he loving and what? Cheerful.
Yeah.
That's not just talking about no money. That's talking about your attitude, your obedience.
Right.
Oh, here they go again. Sabbath.
Right.
Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're doing it, but it's unacceptable. Because the law, the Torah says that if you don't, that you should be.
But you should find it a delight in the Sabbath.
Yeah, you're supposed to find it a delight.
Yeah.
You understand? And if you don't, he's going to even curse you because you do not worship or serve him joyfully. He don't want no grudgingly. That's why there's evil in the world. Because he don't want robots.
Yeah.
That's why it's evil in the world. He said, okay, I don't want you to do evil. I make the world peaceful, but if you do evil, you understand? Just like if you do good, I'm going to reward you. If you do evil, you're going to reward yourself with some curses. Because I have set an order in.
And
You understand?
Our works is the sacrifice.
That's right.
Consequences to everything we do. Just like gravity, if you jump up in the earth, you're coming down. Wages of sin is death, but he said the free gift is eternal life through Yahushua HaMashiach. So he put before us a blessing and a curse. It's our choice. We are free will agents to do either or to forbear, not to do it.
Exactly. Choose ye this day.
Whom you will
You
serve.
understand? You choose. You understand?
Hallelujah.
So we're seeing that this dysfunction that's occurring. You understand? One is taking the birthright lightly, and the other one is see the value of it and is willing to do and go to any extent
Make sacrifices.
to get that birthright.
That's right.
Even if I gotta go to my father Isaac in disguise. Even if I gotta trick and tip my brother to give it up. You understand?
Yes.
Read on, brother.
Verse 16. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and bread which she had prepared unto the hand of her son Jacob. And he had come unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that my soul that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Oh, because Yahuwah thy Elohim brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went nearer to Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near, and he kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him. And said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field, which Yahuwah hath blessed. Therefore Yahuwah give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
Now, what have we heard this before? Remember the covenant that the Most High made with Abraham?
Right.
Blessed are those who bless thee, and cursed are those who curse thee. See in this birthright, is a what? Generational blessing.
Covenant.
It's inheritance.
I like the word generational.
It's covenant. We're in covenant
Blessing.
with the Most High, and it's
That's
part
right.
of it. If you do this, you get this. If you do that, you get that.
And whoever get this is what this rivalry was all about, the birthright.
Hallelujah.
You understand? And in this birthright was that generational blessing of Abraham. You understand? Because Abraham was to be a father of many what?
Nations.
Ethnos.
That's right. And here we seeing that in this birthright, saying the 29th verse, let people serve thee.
The nations bow down to
Bow
thee.
down to thee.
And then he said, be Lord over thy brethren. You're going to rule over your brethren.
Be overseers over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Meaning the elder shall serve the younger.
Yes,
meaning his descendants. Esau's descendants was to serve who? Jacob's descendants.
The children of Israel.
That's right.
They're the youngest nation out of
My
all
brother.
earth.
My brother. You know what most people don't realize, when you look at the Hebrew meaning of Laban, which was Rebekah's father, I believe, who Jacob married, it means white. And so Esau came out red because it was in her blood. So Laban was white, and he's Armenian, which they changed the name to Syrian. So he was white complexion. Laban means white. So Esau and Rebekah, Jacob married her. So of course two came out, but you know the dominant gene of a black man usually take precedent. And so Esau came out more with the genes of the Armenian, the Syrian, the white man, which was Adam, because he ate. And so Adam, what did he do in the garden? He partook with Eve. And so it's all symbolic. And so his deeds and everything. But Laban means white. Nobody ever discusses that. And so there is a difference, and there is two different nations. Flesh and blood won't inherit the kingdom, but there's an election, and there's also a chosen remnant, election remnant, and there's an innumerable number of all ethnos. So the prophecy to Abraham will be fulfilled, a father of many nations, so they can be grafted into Yasharai.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Read the 30th verse and on.
And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting.
Read on.
And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn, Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, who? Where is he that had taken venison and brought it to me, and I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him? Yeah, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said,
Now he want to act like he wants.
Right, now he want that. Yeah. That's like little kids with toys. They don't want to see the toy till they see the other kid get it. Then it's mine.
Or you don't miss it until it's gone.
Right. Yep.
Read on.
35 reads, And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Have thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for service. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from out thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau is touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice and arise. Flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days until thy brother's fury turn away, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. And if Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do to me?
Okay, so we seeing that from the blessing that Isaac gave to Esau, which was not the blessing of the birthright of, but he did bless him. And he says that in the 40th verse, And by the sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy what? Brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Now, if you study some historical references, at a time when Israel, the descendants of Jacob, was being oppressed, and when they should have helped their brothers, they didn't help. Instead, they helped those who was oppressing them.
Right.
And at that particular time, they broke the yoke from the neck. They broke the yoke of their brother from their neck. You understand? And we see that prophecy right here. And thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. You understand?
Read about it in
Obadiah. So whenever you have time, go there. Okay? Because in these blessings are prophecies. Okay? Whatever the Most High speaks, it's a prophecy. The best evidence of the Bible is not what you can go over there and dig up. But the best evidence of the Bible is prophecy.
Yes, sir.
That's the best proof of the Bible.
Facts.
You understand? And our condition.
Amen. And my brother Jacob.
You the evidence of the Bible. When a Kemetic brother or sister